In a world where two friends decided to watch movies from their youth, then decided to start a podcast about it, we present to you the Movie Test of Time. A podcast about the only medium that matters, the movies. Presenting your hosts, America's sweetheart, Beth Martin, and Irish ruffian, Andy Young. Hello, that's us, your beel-jumping and nostalgic hosts, this week looking at Wild at Heart. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
That was like our fourth time trying to start the podcast today, everyone. It's hard to say 3, 2, 1 and go at the same time. And I always think of Wayne's World, the movie. 3, 2, 1, go. So the crack is you and I just hung out.
We did?
We did.
Straight.
So I just got back from the UK. Tour of, I don't know. I'm just going to make it sound like it doesn't matter. I'm an American in the UK. I told a lot of people I was Canadian.
Smart.
No, but it was good. We met at Oxford and hung out. Andy came for the weekend while Mike was, he had class for a couple days. And yeah, Andy and I, went to school at Oxford for 3 days.
Okay.
AKA the pub. The pubs.
Yeah, I mean, we closed down a bar on the Saturday night, which I have not done in a long time, 10, 15 years. It's insane.
I don't think I've ever closed down a bar.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sure it was, yeah. It was so fun. It was so good to see you.
It was.
That we had this cool little apartment or flat, and we did the museuming. But the coolest thing we did was we went to Stonehenge.
Yeah, we did.
And we took off our shoes and we
did.
We got our Stonehenge on with bare feet. Yeah. So I have to ask, did you feel anything when you took your feet off at Stonehenge?
No, I don't think so. I was really interested in it. I was really kind of really in touch with what she was talking about, and I kind of found the kind of history of it really beautiful and kind of quite moving. I kind of find it quite humbling. Looking at things whatever she was here are the stones, and here are things that people have carved into the stones that are so old in and of themselves that they are almost faded down to nothing. I find that kind of, these big sort of testaments to this enormous passage of time are just really kind of
the carving that he's referring to said Jenny plus Chad, but
it did. Chad, as we know, an ancient historical name. But yes, it was really, so I thought that I don't know that I felt any energy, but I think I was in awe of it.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It was I didn't expect her to say there were lots of rules, and we had the extra special tour, so we actually got to go inside Stonehenge. The rest of the peons had to stand on the other side of this little rope
And watch us.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got a full tour, and basically the upshot was they don't know why it's there. They don't know when it, they have an idea of when it was being built, but the idea that they're hauling all these stones all the way from Wales, but first they build the circle with the moat around it. I don't know. It didn't quite make sense to me, but if you're doing this over 1,000 years, then obviously it's we have malls now, and that took a long time from Stonehenge to mall. So
we've perfected malls now, thankfully.
Basically. So good job, Stonehenge. Not built by aliens, just early mall employees.
Hey, not that we know of.
But no one really knows.
Let's not rule it out, okay? No, it was it was pretty incredible. It's made me also, because we talked about Newgrange in Ireland and things like that, and it makes me kind of want to visit more of these historical sites. I was thinking there about other sites I've been to that I maybe have felt an energy at, and it was in whenever I did the Fire Festival, I think I told you about it in Ireland, I definitely felt something there, but two things may have come into play there. A, I had taken mushrooms, and B, I was shocked by an electric fence.
Yeah.
So that might have been the energy that I was feeling.
Right,
So
right.
that's, who knows? There was something there.
I'm just curious, like, which one of those happened first, but that's okay.
Yeah, let's for fear of getting myself in trouble, I'll never say.
But yeah.
Okay.
So then we dropped you off at the train station. Cried for
Drunk,
cried. It was great though. It's so much fun. It was just so much fun.
It was. Yeah. I had like a 3-day hangover.
I think I did too. And so yeah, the next day we got up and we drove to. We decided not to. We were going to go to Wales for fish and chips they had gluten-free fish and chips.
Oh, did you get them?
We did not go there. We ended up. Mike woke up and he was like, we were super hungover because we were just like sad about you leaving. So yeah, we got drunk and
hell yeah.
Then woke up the next day and Mike was like, "There's no way I want to drive 3.5 hours."
Yeah, it's fair.
And so we decided instead we were going to drive. He retooled everything, canceled the hotel in Wales, and we went to Stratford upon Avon, where Shakespeare was born. And
yes, hence the photo.
Yes, so that was really cool. And I didn't quite understand because like the Avon River you cross in Oxford. Across the river Avon, I don't know, over this whole trip, probably like 10 or 12 times.
Oh, interesting.
So, it's a, old river. There's a term for that where it's like very windy. I don't remember what it's called. Mike would know, but he's in the other room and I'm not going to go get him. So we did that. Went and saw, it was great. It's just like Avon's Stratford upon Avon. I don't know how people refer to it, Stratford or upon or on. It's an interesting name of a town, and I don't quite understand why it's called what it's called, but that's okay. I'll Google it. If somebody else wants to Google that for me, that's fine. Then the next day we got up and we went to Bath, which was not my favorite place ever. That was the place where everyone was like, you gotta go, and they have these great Roman, it's like the Romans some Romans left Rome, ended up there and basically built the same Roman bath setup, and they discovered it that under the city these Roman baths existed, so you could take these tours, but I don't know, it was just like way more touristy, and it was just a lot of tourists, I guess. After being at Stonehenge and like Oxford, it was just a lot of people.
That's true.
All in, yeah. So we got up the next day and drove to Avebury, and I sent Andy a video of. So they have another. Oh, yeah. I guess it's, what do you call them? They're not henges. What do you call them? Those big rocks.
Oh God, I don't know.
There's the term for it. About... Yeah, so I'm gonna call it for the sake of keeping this conversation going. I'll call it a henge. But they have all these henges everywhere. So it's this little old town, that I think these might be older than Stonehenge actually, but it's not as well known. And you can walk. You can literally, like, people are like laying up against them eating lunch, and then they actually have sheep that they rotate around these fields, and all these henges are in all these fields. And when you look at it, like aerial photo, like it's cool. There's patterns, there's circles, dead bodies in a giant hill. But my favorite part was like all these sheep were just like rubbing their heads and their butts against all these henges that are like Neolithic. Amazing. I think it's either limestone or sandstone. I think it might be sandstone. Doesn't matter because they both are very brittle and fall apart very easily. So the bottoms of all these rocks have obviously just been like worn down like a tooth because all of these little sheep butts. So it was great.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, it kind of, you continue to be envious of like the animal life that just like has no sort of understanding or regard
of
for like
time
our time and of our dumb human world as well.
Yeah,
which is it's nice.
Yeah,
it makes me sad that they're impacted by it as much as they are, but also they just are completely disconnected from it in a very wonderful way.
I agree. I had that same thought where I'm like they don't care. And at some point, someone's going to be like, maybe we shouldn't let the sheep rub their butts anymore. And that will be a sad day. Because it was just great to just be in this giant pasture with all the, like, there were like, I don't know, 50 or 60 sheep. And it was like one of my favorite moments of my entire life. So, and not to make it sad, but I did leave some of my dad's ashes
Nice.
in Stratford, and also under a rock at Avebury before I understood about the sheep rubbing their butts on the rocks. So my dad's ashes are going to be tread on by sheep and probably.
Based on what I know about your dad, I think he would appreciate.
That's kind of what I thought too. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. So it was all in all fabulous trip, 10 out of 10, and Andy's lucky that we're coming back in July, and we're coming. Yeah. Not only that, we're coming to Northern Ireland to see. See you. Oh yeah.
Which is we need to plan that trip.
I know.
No, that rocks. I'm glad that you found, because I know we were hoping to maybe spread some of the ashes at Stonehenge, so I'm glad you found.
Yeah, and there was like literally they had like 5 rules, like don't touch the rocks, don't carve your name on the rocks. Yeah. Chad and Jenny.
I mean, that's fair.
And don't spread your dad's ashes. Beth Merton, that was the other one, and I was like, shit, I can't.
Yeah. No, amazing.
Yeah.
So, I say, I spent 3 days over there with Beth and Mike. It was lovely. We had a great time. Did I? Oh, yes, I also did a park run there, which was nice. You did.
You got up and went for a run.
Yeah, like a fucking idiot. And, but it was a lovely time. But also, there was something else fairly seismic happened over there, Beth, which we've talked about.
Oh, yes. I'm very excited.
Andy has entered his necklace era.
Yes.
I'm wearing necklaces now. I've got 2 really nice ones.
One from Stonehenge.
One from Stonehenge, which I love, and one from the Natural History Museum, which I also love.
In Oxford.
I'm thinking about doubling up on them sometimes.
I would do that.
But this is just a general declaration. I will not be taking any questions on this. And I will not be accepting any pushback on this whatsoever. No. You just need to accept it, that I am in my necklace era, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's wearing necklaces now. And we're here for it. He's wearing one. If anyone is not watching, you could see it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm taking it out.
Yeah.
Right, I'm sure this will be a clip.
I was like, he better be wearing one of his necklaces, because we're in the era of that.
We are. So, you just have to accept that, everybody. What other things have I done since I saw you last? I did see the cinematic masterpiece that was Mortal Kombat 2. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just
it
what
good?
I was looking for. I mean, like, I watched the first one, which came out in 2021, as a way to kind of like, go, okay, so just I need to know what's happening here. And I got all the way through to the end, and then I was like, I think I've seen that before, but I had basically no memory of it, which was not good for a movie that came out in 2021, but there you go. But, I have to go and support, obviously, my good friend, Carl Urban was in there, so I had to go and support him as well.
Oh, yeah.
He was great.
Oh, yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It was really dumb, but it was like, it had some good action, and yeah, I had a good time with it. I think that's the only cinema excursions I've been to, and all I've been really, because I've been doing like, obviously I had, we talked about it in last week's episode, but I had a weekend away before the weekend in Oxford, so I was just kind of like turtling up and not spending any money. So I've not been going anywhere or doing much since I saw you. So
us either.
But that's fine. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. You got to.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the piper for your lovely trips.
Right.
But yeah. That's all the crack with me at the minute, Beth. Do you have any what's current for us?
I do. So I was chatting with Top Fan about Lost Highway.
Oh, he was thrilled.
Yeah. So we do take requests, guys, and we do listen to you. We do. So please, if you have anything you want us to watch, we will. It's on. We will add it. We have a list going.
Consider it. And don't try to be a funny guy or girl. All right, send us serious suggestions. Okay. really mind.
Yeah, we'll watch
you
anything.
Can't send us funny ones if you want. Yeah, basically. Don't maybe not the Human Centipede trilogy, but apart from that.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh no! let's not go down this side road. Continue
movies.
That thought.
Okay. All right. So Top Fan says Lost Highway is my favorite David Lynch film. Really stoked to hear you guys relate your experience to it. Okay. This is okay. I saw it in the cinema at age 17. So again, it got me in my own golden age when I was an impressionable and arrogant young man, a rock star in his own head. But I was already a Lynch fan, particularly because of Wild at Heart, which we're talking about today, and Blue Velvet. The genuine moments of horror. We've met before, haven't we? And the dark humor and the dark eroticism are, to this day, distinctly bolder and more accomplished than Lynch's pale imitators. Sorry, guys, I can never say words. And excuse this bit of being TMI. He gave me permission to share this. But when I saw it, I had not long started university, where I met a girl who was a little bit older and a lot more experienced than me, and I took her to see it, and it made her horny. So thank you, David Lynch, for contributing to some of the best memories of my late teens. That's the mark of the true master artist.
Absolutely. What a skill set they have, you know what I mean? The full gamut.
I wonder how many people have that same experience and gratitude for true. David Lynch.
Yeah, that's true. He does get quite horny in a lot of his movies. Yeah. And this is another one. Yeah. And I know I'd seen this before, but I didn't have a lot of memory. I remember enjoying it as a kid, but I have forgotten just how horny it is. It is super, super horny. But that's it's interesting. So since we did that episode, I've been thinking a bit about, and I'm pretty certain Lost Highway was the first Lynch film I saw in the cinema too. I think I'd seen Eraserhead beforehand. I'm not sure whether I watched Wild at Heart before or afterwards, but I'm pretty certain as a young, a budding cinephile, I think I've mentioned this, I would Channel 4 used to late into the night would show things like Eraserhead and kind of outsider sort of movies, so I would make the effort to stay up and watch them, but yeah, it was Wild at Heart was just a trip, I guess. But I think, sorry, I got sidetracked there. Lost Highway, I'm pretty certain was one I saw in the movies as well. I think, again, I need to start seeing, this is the sort of thing I need to start seeing. And it really kind of blowing me away at the time. Yeah,
I think Blue Velvet was my first one that I saw. And I was kind of what the fuck? And then I saw Mulholland Drive and I was like, what the fuck? And honestly, well, we can get into it. But yeah.
I think Mulholland Drive's maybe my favorite of his.
I own that. I still I have that on DVD, and I remember when Mike and I were first dating, I was we met in LA for the weekend, and I was we have to go on Mulholland Drive because of this movie, and it was worth it. Great views, I'll say. Definitely no making out. Thank you, David Lynch.
Okay. Do you have any more what's current for us, or shall we?
No, I've got to clarify. I've got a clarification station.
All right.
Which I'm surprised I don't get more of these. Thank you, everyone, for not, for giving me a little bit of leeway to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So I had made a reference to. I can't remember which episode, it doesn't matter. So I had mentioned that Shrek was based off of George the Animal Steele.
Yes.
It's actually based off the French angel Maurice Tillet, which I've seen the photo of Maurice Tillet. Everybody should go look at it, because you look at it and you're like, oh, that's totally Shrek. And I, for some reason, put those two people together. I don't know why. Okay. It was because of Ed Wood. That's what it was.
I was going to say it must be the Ed Wood episode, because George was Truth Animal Cities.
Yep. So Shrek was based off of the French angel Maurice Tillet, Tillet, because I can pronounce things.
Oh yes, yes.
Right?
I've seen this guy.
There's a photo of him holding, he's huge, and he's holding this little damsel. I think it might have been his wife.
Yes,
doesn't matter.
It's very Shrek coded. Yeah.
So that's what I got there. Do you want to?
Okay.
Okay. I think we both want to talk about Wild at Heart.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, our subject for this week is Wild at Heart. It's the second of our Nicolas Cage proper season. And yeah, a very different film to Raising Ours. Tonally quite a whiplash, you know, but very interesting to revisit. One I definitely have watched, and there was bits and pieces I remembered about it, but like broadly I'd forgotten nearly all of it.
I've never seen it before, so I was
you've never seen it before?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So quick synopsis. Lulu's, for those of you who just need a memory jog and didn't pre-watch the movie like we told you to, or asked you to.
Yeah.
So Lula's.
No, we told. Beth asked. I told.
That's right. Okay? That's right. No, we didn't. You just. It's volunteer. You don't have to do anything. Okay. Lula's psychopathic mother goes crazy at the thought of Lula being with Sailor, who had just got free from jail. Ignoring Sailor's probation, they set out for California. However, their mother hires a killer to hunt down Sailor. Unaware of this, the two enjoy their journey and themselves being together until they witness a young woman dying in a car accident, which is a bad omen, and things get a little nutty.
They sure do.
I mean, that's not even a very good synopsis. That's like, you know.
No, I mean, like, I don't know how you could really, like, distill what this movie is anyway.
No.
Because, like, and there's certain angles to it, and there's certain sort of situations in particular, like Big Tuna, or the, like, and I meant, you know, the kind of, like, Assassins sort of, like, league type thing that seems to be going on as well.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz aspect, yeah. One of the things I wrote down was, and in about like 10-15 minutes of watching this movie, I wrote down her mother may have some issues.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's fair to say, right?
I think it's like,
I don't know what gave it away.
It's more like when you're holding your you know, well, you know, it was the lipstick and the crying and the puking in the toilet over a phone call, and then also like when she's talking about, you know, killing anyone, and whenever she wants to do that, she's always like got these red hooks of like her long fingernails, and yeah, she's a piece of work.
Is whenever I can't remember how it appears, but at one point there's like a kind of like a jump scare of her, and she's put lipstick all over her face, and her face is just this mask of red, and it's like, okay,
yeah. And I was like, did something happen? Did I miss something? Did I leave the room at the wrong time? That didn't happen. I didn't actually leave the room. Yes, I did. It was a 2-hour movie, you guys. We try.
It was.
But yeah, that was like, I was like, is it blood or is it lipstick? And it was definitely lipstick.
Yeah, 100%.
So then I ran, I got my lipstick, and I rubbed it all over my face. And also puked in the toilet, which is totally normal. It's what you do.
Perfect. It's a good reaction
I
stuff.
know.
You know, it's definitely a normal scene way to react to things that are happening. Yeah, it's like, you know, I suppose as well, in terms of like trying to do a synopsis for this film, it is very difficult. I think it's very difficult generally for any Lynch film, really, because they're not supposed to have traditional sort of narratives. I think that, though, compared to like some of his other films, it's more of a straight line than a lot of other things, you know? I mean, like, it's broadly them on the run. And then they spend a big chunk of time, most of, I'd say, this kind of back half of the movie in Big Tuna, basically.
They start in Cape Fear, they end up in Big Tuna.
Yeah, Big Tuna rocks.
Have you seen Cape Fear?
I haven't.
Oh!
So I'd add that to the list. It's one I've often thought I should watch, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I've not seen any of the versions of it. But I quite like on the way into Big Tuna, there was just a tuna sign that just said "fuck you" on it.
I saw that too. Yeah.
I like read one of those in Carrick.
Yeah. No, I liked the name of
picture of the castle. It says "fuck you."
Yeah, just someone. You can do that. Yeah, we can. I can. You know, I'll put the can of spray paint with the kids in the kids' hands.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot what I was going to say. That happens.
Okay. So we get it. So talk about David Lynch.
Yep.
So, you know, we've touched on David Lynch before. I'll not talk too much more about him again. I will talk a little bit about
there's so much to say
where he was at with this movie. There is so much to say. There really is. So what was interesting to me was as I was watching this, I was like, shit, this is really Twin Peaksy, like in so many ways. Like, it's like, you know, both a bit kitschy at all, but also like horrifying, and those kind of elements are really blended. Like, it feels like a, you know, obviously there's a big difference in terms of what you can do in TV, certainly back then, versus what you can do on screen. So it felt like a kind of movie version of you know what Twin Peaks would be, but like again, like hornier and kind of more, I was gonna say more insane, but like Twin Peaks gets really insane at times too, you know. So anyway, so this was basically, he had
it was like a vibe. He created a vibe before that was even a thing.
Absolutely.
So I think in layman's terms, like this movie totally has a vibe. Is the dog okay? Andy just took his headphones off.
Headphones off. I was just hearing things.
Okay.
And I think it's fine.
Bark, bark, bark.
Bark, bark, bark. No, she's in here with me at the minute. She's half asleep.
Hi, Sasha.
Oh, I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yes, no, sorry. So Twin Peaks. So he had already filmed the first episode of Twin Peaks before this came out, or directed it, and I think like he only directed some of those. I think I can't remember off the top of my head. So it kind of makes sense.
All the Twin Peaks fans are like screaming at you right now.
Yeah, I'm sure
they know. They know which ones he directed.
Yeah. So like this was the movie he kind of like pivoted. So there is a kind of really famous there's
Andy is someone's okay.
Scraping, do you hear it?
Is someone breaking in your house? Do I need to call the police? I don't want to see you murdered over Zoom.
Oh God. I can't but wish. It's fine. Right.
I can't but wish.
So back on track, Andy. So David Lynch has a project called Ronnie Rocket that he has wanted to make his entire career, and over the years, for a variety of reasons, it has collapsed and has never happened. So basically, two of his projects, one called Ronnie Rocket and one called One Saliva Bubble, both kind of like due to like contractual stuff and other complications. So whenever Dino De Laurentiis, who's a famous kind of movie producer, kind of like his kind of like he became bankrupt, basically it dragged both of those projects down with him. So this was the thing that David Lynch ended up making as a result, just kind of off the back of those projects not coming through. It was a book written by somebody called Barry Gifford. What was really interesting was a bit of a deep dive into this. So basically, one of the guys he worked with on Twin Peaks knew Barry Gifford, chatted to him about it, read the script, loved it, decided to make it himself. He added in a lot of his own flair, which is why it's still quite Lynchian despite being somebody else's script, including all the Wizard of Oz stuff. None of that was in the book, none of that was in the original script. But what I thought was really interesting was that there's apparently eight books in the Sailor and Lula series of books, which is like, that rocks. So there's a whole saga for these two as things go on. Fascinating. But yeah, so very cool. I thought this was like, so it feels like this was all kind of put together quite quickly. You know, it only happened in the course of like 4 or 5 months, but like, yeah, it's so interesting. Every time you look into like how films are made and like how they can and how easily they can fall apart as well, it's fascinating.
It's like, I love doing that. I'm like, it's a little off topic, but this is what I do. I watch a movie and then I get on Wikipedia and I'm like, why did this happen? I go down these wormholes, and like the fact that like we get to do this and we're doing just what I would be doing like in bed at 10:30 at night before I fall asleep.
Yeah.
But with a friend, it's not as lonely.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's true.
So just to like, tag in on that a little bit. So both Barry Gifford and David Lynch wrote the screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Lynch only was going to produce the film, but then he read Gifford's book, One of Eight, and he decided, he was like, what he was basically like, yeah, I'll produce it. You could do whatever. But, you know, if I like it, haha, joke. You know, I might end up directing it, and that's exactly what ended up happening.
Yeah.
it's interesting because you were talking about how he changed some things around. He didn't like the ending of the novel.
Yes.
And I guess the ending was they didn't end up together at all. And he was just like, that's not, like, this is a love story. I think this is his version of, like, David Lynch writing a romantic comedy.
I
a
think
little bit.
You could be right. Yeah, it is. Like, because, I mean, like, it is ultimately hopeful. And, like, I was also thinking about it in terms of how it was shot. Like, there's, like, some really kind of, like, massive differences whenever, like, in these kind of hopeful scenes versus the kind of more desperate ones. It's really interesting.
It is. And more hopeful than not most of his movies, but this one definitely felt like, you know, I didn't know how it was going to end, but I felt like they were going to end up together.
Yes. Yes.
So.
I mean, yes.
So the film is noted for its connections to the Wizard of Oz and Elvis Presley, which, like, I read that ahead of time, so I was, like, waiting to, like, kind of really see it, like, surreptitiously placed in, but it was very, very obvious and it hit you over the head. She was like, my name's Glinda and I'm in a bubble and you need to do the right thing. And, you know, Lula's, like, got red shoes on and she's, like, clicking her heels and saying, you know, there's no place, basically, like, there's no place. Anyways, early test screenings for the film were poorly received. With Lynch estimating that at least 300 people walked out due to its sexual and violent content. So this came out in 1990.
Yeah.
And I don't even think what other movies came out around that time, but, like, I guess this was pre-Natural Born Killers. Like Tarantino.
Yes, it was. I think probably very influential.
Yes, exactly.
Those things,
I think so too. So I'm going to quote Lynch. Lynch remembers, it was just exactly the right thing at the right time. The book and the violence in America merged in my mind and made many different things happen. Lynch was drawn to what he saw as a really modern romance in a violent world, a picture of finding love in hell. And he was also attracted to a certain amount of fear in the picture, as well as things to dream about. So it seems truthful in some way. Which is like, I kind of watched it, you know, with a lazy eye at first. Because I was like, all right, like, we'll see. As I do most things in life. But I was like, immediately, oh, this is something, like, I can't believe I've never seen this movie. And also just how much thought that Lynch really puts into what he does, when sometimes it doesn't necessarily look like that.
No, he does. His level of craft is pretty incredible, I must say. So, two movies we have covered already were out in 1990. They are Miller's Crossing and Arachnophobia.
Ooh.
Yeah. Also, Goodfellas came out that year, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, is this more violent than, like, Goodfellas? Like, cause we'll do a watch of that. But the first scene is them like stabbing the guy in the back of the car.
Yeah, that's true.
With a butcher knife.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. I don't think, like, the violence in this is really heightened in a way. Like, you know, like the opening scene where he, like, you know, beats the guy to death, basically.
And goes to jail right away.
He goes to jail immediately. It's just like one opening, it's insane. Is like, it's not like play for laughs by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also kind of like, it doesn't feel like grounded and grisly. You know, it looks kind of like a bit naff and cheesy.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's intentional or just, you know, due to the budget. I'd say it probably was, like, because Lynch seems to have such a, like, strong, you know, directorial sort of, like, focus and control, so it probably was, you know, because, like, so much of this film seems like it lives in just, like, not massively heightened, but like a kind of like heightened reality just above our own sort of thing.
I agree with you. It didn't feel like reality, and like the colors were off. I don't know what filter he was using, but it kind of had this, I don't know, like beigey overlay. Yes. And you'll get into music because the music was a very important part of this movie, I think.
It was.
But like it felt like the color of the blood when you would see blood
Yes.
versus the lipstick, and the whole time you're kind of like, that's just not, nothing's quite the right color.
That's I think that was a big part of it, because whenever like he did kill the guy, the blood didn't look like blood.
No,
really.
and I was thinking, like, based on, you know, okay, now knowing that Goodfellas came out the same year and that looks very realistic.
Yes,
you can make you could make blood look real at that time, and I think
absolutely,
knowing David Lynch as well as we do, because we were besties,
of course.
He made it. He didn't want it to look real necessarily.
Yeah,
he wanted it to look a little bit off, so you would be like, eh.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about music, because
okay, so
all I can hear is Twin Peaks in my head right now.
Yes, I think, but it's so Twin Peaksy.
It is.
But like anyway, again,
I'm curious.
It's also the
what's up with the
composer.
music?
So the composer who did Twin Peaks, Angelo Badalamenti, who is like Lynch's longtime collaborator, basically did work on all of his films, did the infamous Twin Peaks music, all of it basically, is also the main composer on this, you know, and I think it is so clear. Like, and again, it's obviously so lives in this time when he has just done the Twin Peaks work, you know. So I think this was what added to me really feeling like this was, you know, like a kind of a parallel universe Twin Peaks in terms of like, you know, how it looks, how it sounds, all those things, you know. It's a slightly kind of grittier, a slightly sort of like more dangerous Twin Peaks, you know. So I think, again, as I say, it feels more raw, but it's definitely in his wheelhouse. So obviously so the soundtrack has another kind of, or both, I mean, not original songs for the movie, but original songs not by Angelo Badalamenti, like Wicked Game by Chris Isaak is one of them. There is also a song called Slaughterhouse by thrash metal band Powerhouse. Like, it's such... I look at Lulu and Sailor and I don't think they're metal people. They're like thrash or hardcore fans, but apparently so. They just love music.
They do. All kinds, you know, Elvis Presley, also, you know, just...
It's true.
You know, their love is so wild that they'll stop the car and get out and listen and dance to thrash metal on the side of the freeway.
They're crazy for it. And they go to a thrash metal show at one point as well. Also, and I think probably most notably, so there are 2 Elvis songs in this, both performed by Nicolas Cage. Love Me Tender and... I didn't write down another one.
Love Me.
Love Me?
Yeah. Because he was really good at naming songs. So one is Love Me and the other is Love Me Tender.
Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that.
Sorry.
So, yeah. So, yeah. Really great stuff, I think. I mean, like, again, I can see how people could listen to his music and go, what is this shit?
Yeah.
Quite easily. I really can.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it works. You know, I think, like, Lynch seems to be so interested in, like, this idea of Americana and the kind of, like, all the aspects of it. And I think that he kind of, like, sums that up really nicely, the composer. I mean, like, I think he just kind of captures that really nicely, because there's, like, a kind of, like, in terms of, like, the idea of America, I think, especially the kind of America it was depicting, there's, like, a kind of, like, a tweeness and, like a brightness to it that people imagine. And I think he, like, dials into that while also, like, kind of still giving you this, like, quite kind of sinister underbelly as well, you know? And, yeah, so I think, you know, great stuff. And also, it's just great hearing Nicolas Cage sing Love Me Tender.
Yeah, he's a super Elvis fan.
Yes.
To the point where he married Elvis's daughter.
Yes.
So.
And did you know that she made... My big fact about this was whenever they were married, because he's a big comic book fan as well. Like, that's how he got his name.
I have that. That's one of my facts.
Oh, is it
yes,
one of your facts?
So the fact
Did she made him give away his comic book collection?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it sounded like she was one of these guys going, you know, you're a grown man. Why do you have comics? And it's like, oh, that sucks. That's really sad to hear. So yeah.
That's a bummer.
Isn't that a bummer? But yeah, I also, like, need to do about, I don't know, 15 minutes on his snakeskin jacket.
Can we talk about the snakeskin jacket?
Let's get into
Let's
it
do
right
it.
now in that case.
That was that was my first note was snakeskin jacket.
Incredible. So basically, Nicolas Cage brought that to set and was like, can Sailor wear a snakeskin jacket? Which seems like such a Nicolas Cage move. A, that he would own a snakeskin jacket, and B, that he would be like, I think my guy would wear a snakeskin jacket, you know? It makes me wonder how much, you know, some of the stuff that's in the script is either Lynch wrote it or whether it actually speaks to how Nicolas Cage sees himself. Like in terms of like talking about like a snakeskin jacket is a sign of my idealism, freedom loving, blah blah blah.
Okay, so here's the fact the snakeskin jacket Sailor wears in the film is actually Nicolas Cage's own, which you said. Cage asked director David Lynch if he could wear the jacket in the film as a tribute to Marlon Brando's role in The Fugitive Kind, which came out in 1960.
Okay, I didn't look this up.
So after filming was completed, Cage actually gave that jacket to Laura Dern. So Laura Dern still has a snakeskin jacket, hopefully.
Amazing.
On a side note, The Fugitive Kind was based on the play Orpheus Descending by Diane Ladd's cousin, Tennessee Williams. Okay, so here's some... These are lots of... So Laura Dern plays Lula.
Yeah.
Her mother is played by her actual mother, Diane Ladd.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. So, like, when she's, like, in scenes with her mother, like, that's really... Can you imagine?
That's nuts.
Yeah. And so Diane Ladd and Bruce Dern, who is Laura Dern's father, they met while appearing in a 1961 stage production of Orpheus Descending by her cousin, Tennessee Williams. I don't even know how to Kevin Bacon that into like how many degrees of whatever, but it's a small world, everybody. As my mother would say, mind your P's and Q's. I have something that's completely unrelated, but Mike came home yesterday, and he went out for a work meeting with a friend, and like doesn't matter. Anyways, as some dude he didn't know, comes home with a bass guitar.
Okay.
And I was like, what's up with that? And he's like, our friend, he was like, do you want a bass? Because he knows the kids are super into music right now. And I was like, I was just thinking, oh, I know what my first song I'm going to teach myself is, and it's going to be the theme song for Twin Peaks.
Hell yeah.
How easy would that be? And then I can get the kids to do the synth, and then I'll, we'll be the Von Trapps. Okay. That's music.
That'll be the dream.
It would be.
It was music, yeah. I love it. And we've chatted about the snakeskin jacket.
And the jacket,
well.
sorry.
Right. What else we got?
There's just so much.
Okay.
So, favorite actors. I mean, this is a great cast. Diane Ladd, Nick Cage, Laura Dern. I always love seeing Harry Dean Stanton. If you Google his name, you will... Absolutely. He's in everything.
He is.
And I just always appreciate his characters. And in this, he plays like the crazy mother's husband.
No. Is he the husband or is he the new husband?
I can't quite understand their relationship.
It feels like he's like a boyfriend, like a kind of like somebody she's like tagging along of thing that like does, like he's a private eye, I think does work for her sometimes.
Yeah, but he's also like, she's stringing him along, but they're not really together. I couldn't quite make sense of it. And I might have been lazy-eyeing some of this. Okay.
The scene where he is like, she's trying to convince him to do this stuff and she makes the weird noises and crawls towards.
Yes. So I just watched that...
Great stuff.
No, I just watched that movie with Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson called...
Die My Love?
Die My Love. And her character does that. Crawls around like a panther. And I was
she does.
I wonder where they got this.
Yeah.
Because it sure did happen in Wild at Heart in 1990.
How did you find that movie? It's tough going.
On the airplane. Oh, I found it on the airplane. Sorry.
Sure.
Sure. We have these little cultural differences, everybody.
Yep.
So I found the movie as in, like, did I like it or not?
I don't think it's a movie that's just like sheer enjoyment. I think it's a good, well-made movie, but it's brutal.
It's
really
brutal to watch.
Yeah.
Her character is so self-destructive.
Yes.
You know, postpartum, maybe just a little kooky anyway. I don't know. It was interesting seeing that. I just kind of like watching them interview. I think the two of them probably had a lot of fun making the movie together. Yes. Because it's so weird, man. It's kind of, I felt like I was watching Mother. I felt like I was watching like a Darren Aronofsky movie a little bit.
Yes, 100%. It feels, I suppose it definitely starts a wee bit at the end there with like Mother or something like that. Yep. But I think there was some great stuff in there. Like it's just like encouraged me to like look up. There's a line that I loved in it, which I think really described a sensation that I've kind of really been struggling to track down, which was she goes to a party at one point and somebody says, "What do you do for work, Grace?" And she goes, "I don't. I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can hardly relate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can hardly
absolutely. And I just think her work is interesting. I think both of their work, their choices for the movies that they choose to make, knowing kind of like where they came from. Yeah. You know, her coming from the Thunderbird, Mockingjay, what is it?
Oh, Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, thank you. And then him coming from like the Twilight movies, of which my daughter is starting to read. The Twilight book is on her bed. I know, and I'm like, oh, she's 11.
She's reading. I think it's important.
Yeah,
reading's important. Yep. I think, regardless of what it is.
She's like, I like vampire romance, and like, okay. Anyways, super off track, but
Yes.
I finished it. I watched the whole damn thing.
Okay. Sorry to knock us off the rails there.
No, it's good. I love it. No, I was just talking about, like, I was about to talk about Willem Dafoe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. See, whenever he first entered, I was like, what's going on with his teeth? And it's...
It just gets worse. It's good words. Gets worse. And I'm like, are those his real teeth? And it's like, then I'm like, no, this is probably David Lynch just making you be like, that doesn't quite look right. It doesn't quite look right.
See later on when he puts the like mask over his face and with those teeth, it is awful. Yeah. It's horrifying.
And I was like, how many movies is Nicolas Cage going to put a stocking over his head and rob somebody?
It's true, actually.
And this is the second movie I've seen him do it, because we just watched Raising Arizona and he did that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I was like, I've seen this before. Yeah, so I don't know. I was trying to think about like common, like what are the themes? What are the common themes? I came up with, like, obviously it's like, it's a love story, like love in a hellish world. Yep. Like it's a road movie, like journeying to whatever that journey was, them having a baby and getting married, and him singing "Love Me Tender."
Yeah.
But
that beautiful happy ever after of that situation.
But I saw, it was like, you know, it's always interesting to see movies like backwards, where you like watch the Tarantino and then you watch the Lynch movies and you're like, I see where. So I feel like this is an original and so many, not copies, but like inspirational movies
100%
were made after. So.
Love it. I mean, and I suppose like as well, you know, in turn, this is probably influenced by something like Badlands and things like that. Yes, you know, totally. Like, there's so many, or Bonnie and Clyde, or like actually Bonnie and Clyde, you know, things like that. I love it. Can I give you some random thoughts that I had? Yes. Which is watching Nicolas Cage is giving me dance goals. Like I just kind of loves how he kind of throws himself about and does like karate chops and things like that. Yeah. And like high leg kicks and shit like that. Yeah. That's like how he gets out of a car, like he front flips forwards. Amazing. I liked at one point later on, and it's like not played for laughs. He's just got 2 cigarettes in his hand. He's smoking them both at the same time, and I'm like, that rocks.
I wrote that down. He's smoking Nick Cage smoking 2 cigarettes together after finding out she's pregnant, and he just like picks up 2 cigarettes and lights them. And I was like, that's a good way to react if someone's like, I'm pregnant. And she's like, oh no.
I also, the last one for me was I really like the concept of when you're angry at somebody, throwing a glass of water at a framed photo of them is a great movie. I want to start doing that, I think, ideally.
You're going to need a lot of photos because you have a lot of friends.
I'm going to need a lot of photos. I do, it's true.
You'd be like, okay,
I'm not
who's here that I'm mad at?
All the time.
Yeah. But
Amazing.
they need to be in the room too, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Or at least video it.
Yeah.
You know,
the mother. I wrote down the mother's wigs. She had a great assortment of different wigs.
She did.
Yeah. So, again, you look and you're like, that doesn't look quite right. So they didn't quite. You could tell she was wearing wigs. You could tell.
Yes. Yes. So what other? Do you have any other bits and pieces?
I
or
do.
Else you want
I've got some facts. I've got some facts. I've got some. I heard that. Good burp. That was like a 3.
Well,
a 3. I'll read it. Okay, so.
Let's try harder.
Yeah. So there was a lot of cigarette smoking in this movie, actually.
Yeah, there was.
So during filming, Laura Dern passed out when David Lynch asked her to smoke 4 cigarettes at once in one deep inhalation. They didn't put this part in the movie, I don't think.
Why?
I know.
Why?
When she came to, she saw a worried David Lynch standing above her asking, "Tidbit, are you all right?" So he called her Tidbit.
He's such a sweetheart.
I know. This makes me understand Nick Cage a little bit better, which I think we all need. Nick Cage states that while it hurt helped him to get away from method acting, David Lynch's, to get away from method acting, David Lynch's spontaneous rewrites and the film's odd characters helped him to be more playful with the craft.
Okay.
And I can't remember when Raising Arizona came out.
Before this.
Okay. So this probably, because I know he was like trying to make suggestions for Raising Arizona for the character, and the Coens were just like, nah. So it sounds like he, I feel like the word away doesn't need to be in this. I feel like he is method. So that's my bad. Me copying and pasting the wrong thing from the internet. Shh. I think of this stuff all myself.
Good for his career that he did figure that out at this stage.
Yes. You know. I have a Willem Dafoe story. So Willem Dafoe, he walks in and he's like, I need to use your bathroom. And then he goes and he pees in the toilet. That's actually him peeing.
Oh, really? Amazing.
He goes in to visit Laura Dern and asks to piss in your head. And that was a weird conversation where he's like, don't mean on your head. I mean in your toilet or whatever. So apparently Dafoe drank a great deal of bottled water and really needed to go. Only later did he find out that the toilet was not working and some poor crew member had to go and clean it and suck all the pee-pee out. Can we talk about the name of the jail? He was in PD Correctional Institute or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
And it's like, it was P-E-E-D-E-E. He's like, babe, when I was in PD, and I'm like, it just rolls off the tongue, man.
It does.
Why do you choose to name it PD? I don't know. Someone Google that. Southern. It is.
I'm doing it. I'm
Big Tuna, right. Texas. Sorry. Laura Dern. Laura Dern's son, Ellery Harper. She's married to Ben Harper, I think. Met David Lynch and expressed an interest in seeing the films they'd made together. Lynch told him not to watch this film until he was 30 not because of his mother's performance, but because of his grandmother's performance. Which really? I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah, that would be upsetting actually to see your grandmother like that, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and then I've got some Nicolas Cage facts.
Okay.
Some of these, this man is just quite an interesting fellow. If we had more time, if there was like a 5th week in the month or whatever, I would watch the movie he just did with Pedro Pascal. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like...
it's got like a really elaborate name. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so fucking good. And it's all... But it's like, it's sort of like, breaking the fourth wall. And it's him playing himself. And he has a super fan. And it's very interesting. Okay, so... He's just an interesting dude. Once he woke up in his house in Orange County in bed in the middle of the night to find a naked man eating a fudgesicle in front of his bed. What would you do, Andy, if that happened to you?
It seems like for somebody who used to party with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I was like,
you know, it does not massively surprising to me, honestly.
Okay. So you had mentioned his comic book collection.
Yes.
So his stage name was taken from a comic book character, Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, yeah.
One of the reasons he divorced Lisa Marie Presley, I guess, was not over comic books. That would have been my reason.
That would be a breaking point for me.
Yeah, was because her first husband, Danny Keough, lived in a guest house on the property, and Cage found that highly inappropriate.
Very fair.
So when he got rid of that comic book collection, he donated $2 million of whatever sale to the Amnesty International for a fund to help child soldiers.
That rocks.
Why are there child soldiers? That's another topic for another day.
Yeah, let's not get into that. It's not good. Yeah.
So I think he's back to collecting comic books, and he sees them as being today's equivalent of mythology.
I think that makes sense. And I've heard that as well, like even talked about in terms of like, you know, what the Marvel movies are as well in that way, like kind of a modern mythology.
I mean, they're definitely like when you watch, yeah, I feel like they take a lot from old mythology and roll 100%. It into new mythology.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's Thor in there and Iron Man.
That's there is, right? Two of the classic titans of ancient mythology.
And Daredevil. Who is...
And Daredevil.
And who... Which one... Okay, sorry. This is the one that Charles and I...
Go for it.
Nick Cage was a superhero with a flaming head. What was his name?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, thank you.
He's also in like a new Spider-Man show as like Spider Noir as well.
Okay.
Like,
is he the voice?
No, it's a live action show on Prime. And so basically there's so many different versions. Have you seen any of the Spider-Man
multiverse?
The animated, the recent, yes. So you know the Spider Noir, he voices that.
Okay.
It's that character, but in live action.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's not out, it's out soon.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we get into our final?
Yes.
Wee sections here?
Yes.
So, first of all, too legit to fit. Who had the best outfits in the movie? I feel like it has to be Sailor for the snakeskin jacket. I mean, like, Lulu is also up there, but like all of her stuff is like scandalous.
Yeah, she wears a lot of nylons.
She does. But I think I mean, like, also I feel like I can't remember the name of Willem Dafoe's character. Bobby, is it?
Bobby, it's something weird. Bobby Sass or something. Everyone's screaming at us right now. Sorry, we don't remember. It's good though.
It's Bobby something.
Yeah.
But I like it's like little bolo tie and things like that. But yes, I think it's got to be Sailor for me. Okay. Andy's Animal Acting Award for excellence in animal acting has to go for the dog carrying the severed hand.
Yeah. That's
just such an unnecessary daft bit. Like that is the sort of shit that makes it like really silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a guy gets his hand shot off and he's like, we can sew your hand back on if we can get it out. He goes, where is the damn thing? And then you see a dog walking out with a severed hand for no reason. Yeah. It rocks. Yeah. It fucking rocks.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So Beth, in terms of revisit, remember, refuse, or redo, what are your thoughts on Wild at Heart?
I went into this thinking I would think one thing and I left thinking something else.
Okay.
I think it's worth. I at first I was like, this is obviously a remember, but then like 10 minutes into it, I was like, girl, let things surprise you, and this movie was definitely surprising. So I think I would land on revisit, but I want to wait like a decade and watch it again.
Yeah. It wouldn't be something a regular watch. I don't think it could be.
I definitely think it's an important piece of cinema.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think ultimately I landed in remember. You know, like I think like it certainly isn't my favorite Lynch, but like I enjoyed it and there was lots of good stuff in there. I also think probably in terms of like narratives, it was probably like, you know, for better or for worse, one of the more cleaner narratives, like in a Lynch film, you know. But like, it's great to see like, you know, like both beautiful young Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern just like, you know, being sexy together. That's nice, you know. And also like Willem Dafoe's just wonderfully sleazy in it. Like he's so great.
So good. I guess this is another fact. So it was David Lynch's idea for the two of them. They did, I will say, like, both Laura Dern and Nicolas Cage, like, I feel like this movie would have been a different movie if they weren't in it, and I probably would have had something else to say. But yes. I think the two of them really did a good job. It won 100%. The Palme d'Or at Cannes.
I know, it's not small.
Yeah, and some people were like, it was like really controversial, and there were people that were like clapping when they won, and also people that were yelling when they won. So it's just, yeah, I do think, like, I can understand why it would be a remember, but I think if you haven't seen it before or you're a Lynch fan, like, it's worth giving it a lazy eye.
Absolutely.
Smoke those 2 cigarettes and give it a watch.
Hell yeah. 2 at a time, please.
Yeah,
at least. Or 4
only.
If you want.
I'll light them for you.
Yeah. Okay. So, Beth, what has been bringing you joy this week?
A lot of things, but I think, like, if I had to settle on one thing, I was on the plane, I slept for like an hour.
Nice.
So I had lots of time to watch the movies. I was like, and I just gone to Stratford upon Avon, and I was like, I just jumped back into the Shakespeare in Love pool, and it felt so nice, and it brought me so much joy.
That's a nice tonic after watching Die My Love.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I watched Die My Love, and then I was like, I need something happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely. I remember, it's so well done. You know, I love, they got a little creative with, this is much like Stonehenge. We don't know a lot about Shakespeare. So they took a lot of creative freedom, much like Hamnet did as well. But I just loved it. I loved it.
I know. Great. Love it. Okay, so for me, actually, there's a video game that I played through. It was only about, I'd say about 3 to 4 hour experience that I just completed at the weekend there, called Mixtape.
That's not long.
That I fucking adored. It's not long. So I don't think I've done this before. It's a video game I think you should play.
Oh.
Like, it's basically, I think you would really resonate with it. Mixtape. So basically, it's not like people, like, there's a lot of people bitching about it not being a proper video game because there's not tons of, like, actual gameplay in it, but it's essentially about these 3 kids. It's actually kind of getting into our theme for next month. Basically, these 3 kids coming to the end of their life in this small town. One of them is obsessed with music, and she makes a mixtape for their night. And the 3 of them, this group of friends, are planning to go to this big party, and then she's leaving the next day to go to New York to be like, because she wants to become like a music supervisor. So, like, she's obsessed with finding the right piece of music for the right moment, and it's just about that, and it's just this kind of like, but I think, like, it's getting a lot of like shit, but mostly by people who suck. But it's like it's got really kind of like authentic, kind of grounded, like, dialogue. I think the writing's just fantastic, and it just feels like, I said to my friend, it really feels like it's going for the nostalgia jugular, but it feels like it earns it in a way that some other things don't quite. Like, if there's like, an authenticity to, like, these kids basically in the 90s. So much of the music I think you'll love as well, but like, in, like, a lot of the times you see depictions of that and they're very sanitized, but like, at one point you see these kids like picking up this like gas canister that was clearly being used for doing whippets, and they're like, what was that used for? And they're like, So like, it's not afraid to go into those areas. Even how they talk is really brutal and like filled with swear words and stuff, but yeah, it's really lovely, and I think you would really resonate with it. Okay,
I wrote it down. I wrote it on the paper.
Love it.
I wrote it in metallic silver.
Perfect. That's what you'll definitely remember.
Exactly.
Okay. So next week, I'm pretty excited about this. We're going to be watching Moonstruck, which I've never seen, and I've often wanted to see, so I'm excited to see it. What a powerhouse! Talking about powerhouse couples. Cher and Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
Yes, please.
I know. I'm excited too.
Okay. Right. So Beth, can you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us at movietestofTime.com. You can find us on the Facebook and the TikTok and the Instagram. Please, you can also email us at movietestofTime@gmail.com. Send us recommendations.
Please. Please.
Claire,
say we're looking for summer movies. We're like
yes.
next month.
Yes.
So like if you've got any thoughts in that regard, would love to hear them. You know.
Yep. We're making our list now, so let us know.
We are. All right. Okay. Great stuff, folks. Well, did we have a new ending thing that we wanted to do? I meant to ask you this beforehand.
You guys were working on our ending. We don't know what we're doing. Okay. I mean, you were gonna just do the redo of the words.
Okay, I've got my standard. Don't worry until we land on something else.
Yeah.
So, and as always, we like to say goodbye to our Beale jumping and nostalgic fans.
Yeah, that's you too.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.